Hey there, deep divers. Welcome back to another deep dive with yours truly. Today we're tackling a topic that I think we've all pondered at some point, positive thinking.
Yeah,
Now, I gotta admit, I've always been fascinated by the idea,
right.
but also a little skeptical. Is it really all it's cracked up to be? Or is it just another one of those self-help fads?
That's a really good question. And to be honest, it's one that researchers have been grappling with for decades. And what they've found is that positive thinking, it's not just about, slapping on a smile and pretending everything is rosy.
Oh, okay.
There's actually a lot more to it than that.
So it's not just like, toxic positivity where you just pretend everything's fine even when it's not.
No, not at all. In fact, toxic positivity that can actually be really harmful because it prevents us from, actually dealing with our problems and, learning and growing from difficult experiences. Real positive thinking, what we're talking about today, it's about acknowledging the full spectrum of human emotion, the good, the bad, and the ugly. But it's about choosing to focus on the good and looking for ways to overcome obstacles.
So it's more about like a mindset shift rather than just, forcing yourself to be happy all the time.
Exactly. It's about approaching challenges with a can-do spirit and, believing in your ability to find solutions, focusing on what you can control rather than getting bogged down in what you can't.
Okay, that makes a lot more sense. But how did that actually work in real life? Can you give me an example?
Sure. Let's say you're stuck in traffic and you're running late for a really important meeting.
Uh-oh.
Now, instead of thinking, ugh, my whole day is ruined, this is a disaster, a positive thinker would take a deep breath and say, okay, this is a setback, but what can I do to make the most of this situation? Maybe I can use this time to catch up on some calls or listen to that podcast I've been meaning to check out.
Oh, I see.
It's about shifting your perspective, looking for the silver lining, even in those less than ideal situations.
Yeah, that makes sense. So it's not just about, feeling good. It's actually about problem solving and taking action.
Exactly. And the amazing thing is there's actually a ton of scientific evidence to back this up. Positive thinking, it can have a really tangible impact on both our physical and mental well-being.
Wait, really? So it's not just about feeling happier. There are actual measurable benefits.
Oh, absolutely. Studies have shown that people who cultivate a more positive mindset, they tend to have stronger immune systems, lower blood pressure, and they even recover from illness faster.
Wow, that's pretty impressive. So it's not just like, wishful thinking. It's actually affecting our biology.
It really is. For example, research from the Mayo Clinic has actually linked positive thinking to a reduced risk of heart disease, better coping skills during stressful times, and even a longer lifespan.
Hold on. A longer lifespan.
Yeah,
Okay, you've got my attention now.
yeah.
But how do we actually do that? Is there like a magic formula for becoming a positive thinker?
Well, I wish there was a magic bullet,
Oh,
but
no.
there are definitely some proven strategies and techniques that can help us cultivate a more positive outlook.
Okay.
And one of the simplest yet most effective is gratitude journaling.
Gratitude journaling. I've heard of that. Isn't that just like writing down things you're thankful for?
That's the basic idea,
Right.
but it's actually more powerful than it sounds. When we consciously focus on the good things in our lives, even the small ones, we're actually training our brains to notice and appreciate the positive more readily.
So it's like a mental workout for positivity.
Exactly. And the more we practice gratitude, the more it becomes a natural part of our thinking. It's like building a muscle. The more you use it, the stronger it gets.
Right. Okay, that makes sense.
Yeah.
Are there any other techniques we can use to kind of like rewire our brains for positivity?
Oh, there are tons.
Yeah.
Another powerful tool is positive self-talk.
Oh,
So that's about becoming aware of the negative thoughts that we all have. They creep into our minds and consciously choosing to reframe them in a more positive light.
so instead of saying, I'm so bad at this, you would say, okay, maybe I haven't mastered this yet, but I'm learning and I'm getting better with each attempt.
Exactly. You're challenging those negative self-criticisms and replacing them with more encouraging, empowering statements.
Okay, this is all starting to make a lot more sense now.
Yeah.
But I have a feeling there's even more to this whole positive thinking thing.
Oh,
Okay.
absolutely. We've only just scratched the surface. There's a whole world of positive thinking to explore things like the power of visualization, the importance of surrounding ourselves with positive people, and even strategies for bouncing back from setbacks.
Okay, well, I'm definitely intrigued. I'm ready to dive deeper into all those nuances, see what other gems we can uncover.
Me too. Let's explore how we can really move beyond the basics of positive thinking and harness its full potential.
Sounds good to me. Deep divers, stay tuned because we're about to take this positive thinking journey to a whole new level.
Yeah. So, we've talked about gratitude journaling and positive self-talk, but
Uh-huh.
What about something a little bit more
Yeah.
visual?
Oh, you mean like visualization?
Exactly.
Oh,
Where you imagine yourself, achieving your goals.
right, right. I've heard of athletes using that all the time.
Yeah, athletes use it a lot, but it's not just for athletes.
Yeah.
It's a really powerful tool that anyone can use. And it's more than just kind of like daydreaming.
Uh-huh.
You're actually creating a vivid mental picture, engaging all your senses, really making it feel real.
Oh, so it's like creating a mental movie of myself, like nailing that
Yeah.
presentation or, finally running that marathon.
Exactly. And you know what's so fascinating?
Yeah.
Research has actually shown that when we visualize something, our brain activates similar regions as if we were actually doing the activity.
Really? So my brain's like, wait, are we really doing this?
Yeah, it's kind of tricking your brain a little bit.
Yeah. That's wild. But does it actually make a difference, though?
It does. There was this one study where they had people vividly imagine lifting weights. And they found that those people, they actually gained almost as much strength as the people who were actually doing the workout.
No way. So just thinking about lifting weights made their muscles stronger.
Pretty much.
That's amazing.
It's really highlighting that mind-body connection. Visualization, it primes our brain for success. It boosts our confidence and our motivation to actually take action.
I was starting to see how all these pieces fit together,
Mm-hmm.
Gratitude, self-talk, visualization. It's like building this like positivity powerhouse.
Exactly.
Okay.
And speaking of powerhouses, let's talk about the ripple effect of positive thinking, because
Uh-huh.
it's not just about us as individuals.
Yeah.
It impacts those around us too.
Yeah. I mean, we talked about earlier how like negativity can be contagious,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
But I feel like good vibes can be contagious too.
Oh, absolutely. When you're positive, you radiate that energy outwards. It influences your interactions. You make people feel more comfortable and at ease.
So it's like choosing to be like a source of sunshine instead of, a
Yeah.
rain cloud.
I love that analogy.
Yeah.
And the beautiful thing is it doesn't require like these grand gestures.
Right.
Sometimes, a simple smile, a genuine compliment, or even just, a listening ear can really brighten someone's day.
And then who knows, maybe they'll pass that positivity along,
Yeah.
and it just creates this chain reaction of good vibes.
Exactly. It's about recognizing that interconnectedness of our emotions and how our individual choices really contribute to a larger collective mood.
Wow, this is so inspiring. But let's be realistic for a second.
Okay.
Life, it throws curveballs.
Mm.
How do we stay positive when things inevitably go wrong?
That's where resilience comes in.
Okay.
It's that ability to bounce back from adversity and maintain a positive outlook even when you're facing challenges.
So it's not about avoiding negative emotions altogether, but more about learning to navigate them effectively.
Exactly. And one really powerful technique for building resilience is reframing.
Reframing.
Yeah, instead of viewing setbacks as failures, you try to see them as opportunities for growth.
Oh, like that Thomas Edison quote.
Yes.
He's like, I didn't fail 10,000 times. I found
No.
10,000 ways that didn't work.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Reframing allows us to extract valuable lessons from our experiences, and then we can approach future challenges with, more wisdom and more confidence.
So it's like shifting our perspective from why me to like, what can I learn from this?
Precisely. And that shift in mindset can make a world of difference in our ability to navigate all those ups and downs.
Okay, this is all starting to make a lot of sense. But is there such a thing as too much positivity? Like, can we be so focused on the good that we ignore potential problems?
That's a really great question and one that's definitely worth exploring further. We've talked about the dangers of toxic positivity, right? Where we dismiss or suppress negative emotions.
Right.
But could there be a flip side where excessive optimism, it kind of blinds us to reality?
I hadn't thought of it that way.
Yeah.
It seems like finding that balance between positivity and realism is key.
I think you're right. It's about being mindful not to let our positive outlook cloud our judgment or prevent us from taking, necessary precautions.
So it's like walking this tightrope between optimism and awareness.
Exactly. It's all about finding that sweet spot where we embrace the good, but we also stay grounded in reality.
This has been so eye-opening. I feel like I'm starting to see the world through like a whole new lens.
Me too. And it's important to remember that, cultivating a positive mindset, it's an ongoing journey. It's not about achieving some perfect state of perpetual bliss.
Right.
It's about consistently choosing to focus on the good, even amidst the challenges.
So it's like we're building a muscle.
Yeah.
We need to keep flexing those positivity muscles
Yeah.
through practice and conscious effort.
Exactly. And the more we do it, the stronger and more resilient we become.
Well said.
Yeah.
We've covered so much ground in this deep dive.
We have.
But before we wrap things up, there's one more question that's been kind of swirling in my mind.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I'm all ears. What is it?
So we've talked about how positive thinking can improve our own lives, right?
Right.
But what about its impact on society as a whole?
Hmm.
Could a collective shift towards positivity, like, create a ripple effect on a larger scale?
That's a fascinating question, and one that's been explored by, researchers and social scientists alike. The idea is that if enough individuals embrace a positive mindset, it could actually create a tipping point,
Oh, wow.
leading to a more positive and harmonious society.
So like a critical mass of good vibes transforming the world.
Exactly.
Mhm.
Imagine a world where people approach challenges with collaboration and compassion,
Hmm.
where kindness and empathy are the norm instead of the exception.
That sounds amazing.
Right.
Like a utopia.
Yeah.
But is it actually possible?
It might sound far-fetched, but there's actually evidence to suggest that positive emotions, they are contagious. When we interact with positive people, we ourselves are more likely to feel positive.
So it's like this chain reaction of good vibes spreading throughout society.
Exactly. And the more people who embrace positivity, the stronger that chain reaction becomes.
You know what? This is giving me so much hope. It's making me want to go out and just be a beacon of positivity in the world.
I love that. And remember, it doesn't have to be these grand gestures. Sometimes even the smallest acts of kindness can have the biggest impact.
This has been such an inspiring conversation. I feel like I have a whole new toolkit for not only cultivating my own positivity, but also spreading it to others.
Me too. And I think the key takeaway here is that positive thinking, it's more than just a feel-good concept.
Right.
It's a powerful force that can transform our own lives and potentially even the world around us.
So well said. Well, deep divers, we've explored the depths of positive thinking today,
We have.
but our journey isn't over yet. Stay tuned for the final part of our deep dive, where we'll uncover even more fascinating insights and practical tips. Welcome back, deep divers. We've covered so much ground in our exploration of positive thinking.
We have. From the science behind it to practical techniques.
Yeah,
And even its potential ripple effects.
it's been pretty amazing.
Yeah, and as we wrap up this deep dive, I want to leave you with some final thoughts to kind of ponder.
Okay, I'm ready. Hit me with them.
All right, so we've talked about all these incredible benefits of positive thinking, right?
Right.
But it's really important to remember it's not a magic wand.
Oh, okay.
It's not going to erase all your problems.
Right. Life's still going to have its ups and downs no matter how positive we try to be.
Exactly. Positive thinking, it doesn't make us immune to difficulties.
Okay.
But it does equip us with the tools and the mindset to navigate them, more effectively.
So it's like having this mental toolkit
Yeah.
filled with, resilience and gratitude and all those other techniques we've talked about.
Exactly. Like a toolkit you're ready to use when things get tough.
I like that.
And just like any toolkit, it takes practice
Right.
to master those skills.
So it's not about like reaching this perfect state of happiness.
No.
It's more about consistently, making that choice to focus on the good.
Yeah.
And approach challenges, head on.
Exactly. And be patient with yourself,
Yeah.
Cultivating a positive mindset. It's a journey.
It's not a destination.
You got it.
It's so easy to get discouraged, when we slip up or face setbacks.
Of course.
But this whole conversation has really given me a renewed sense of hope
Me too.
and motivation.
And one of the most beautiful things about positive thinking is that it's not just about individual benefit.
Right.
It can ripple outwards and influence our relationships, our communities, even the world at
You
large.
talked about that earlier, how
Yeah.
our own positivity
Yeah.
can kind of like lift up those around us and inspire them.
Absolutely.
So it's like a chain reaction of good vibes.
Exactly. And imagine if enough people embraced this mindset,
Yeah.
Could we collectively shift toward a more, positive and compassionate world?
It's a beautiful thought.
It is.
It's definitely something to strive for.
And it all starts with each of us making that conscious effort, to cultivate positivity in our own lives.
So as we wrap up this deep dive into positive thinking,
Mm-hmm.
I think it's time for our final thought-provoking question.
Okay, I like it.
Are you ready for this?
I'm ready.
So we've talked about, the downsides of toxic positivity where we ignore negative emotions.
Right.
But could there be a flip side to this?
Hmm.
Is there such a thing as being too positive?
That is such a great question. Could excessive optimism sometimes blind us to potential risks
Yeah,
or prevent us from taking, necessary precautions?
definitely something to think about.
Yeah, as you continue exploring the power of positive thinking, could there be instances where a more balanced approach that
Yeah.
acknowledges both the positive and the negative is actually more beneficial?
It seems like finding that sweet spot between, optimism and realism is key.
I think you're right. It's about embracing the good while also staying grounded in reality
Hmm.
and using our critical thinking skills to make informed decisions.
This has been such an incredible conversation.
It
I
has.
feel like I have a whole new perspective on positive
Me
thinking
too.
and its potential impact.
And remember, it's an ongoing journey. Keep exploring, keep learning,
Mhm.
keep practicing those positivity techniques.
Deep divers, we hope this deep dive has empowered you to harness the power of positive thinking in your own lives
Yes.
and maybe even inspire others to do the same.
And remember, even the smallest acts of kindness and positivity that can make a difference
Mm.
and create a more, positive and harmonious world for all of us.
Until next time, stay curious,
Yeah.
stay positive, and keep diving deep.